In this video, Fabio Quartararo accepts mistake but also blames Yamaha. Pecco Bagnaia not entirely happy despite 14-point lead in the championship. Aleix Espargaro angry with Aprilia over electronics malfunction. Marquez doesn't know if he will ever be like the old Marc. Jorge Lorenzo claims Honda has not been the best bike since 2016. And Marc claims he did not have the pace to beat Pecco Bagnaia. My name is Sankalp and this is your Racing News Fix. After a strong showing in FP4 and a very competitive starting position of P5, there was a lot of hope for Fabio Quartararo's defense to extend his championship lead at the Phillip Island. But an average start saw him not make up any places at the beginning, and after that he made a mistake and dropped all the way down the order to P22. But the reigning world champion did not give up and started making up places one by one, and in just a few laps time he was back into the points. But sadly for him, that's where his race ended, in the gravel trap. Although Aleix Rins and Marquez finishing ahead of Pecco Bagnaia means that all is not lost yet, Fabio has relinquished the lead and is now trailing by 14 points. After the race, Fabio did accept the blame for both the incidents but also pointed out that disadvantages of his bike do not help his tough situation. Fabio said, "We had a good pace for the race, but at the beginning it was difficult for me to warm up the tires a bit. I made a mistake at turn 4 where I almost ran into a Ducati and I had to go wide. I pushed myself to the max wanting to come back and made a mistake in turn 2, and that was it." When asked if it was entirely himself to blame for the crash or was it the inability of his bike to make overtakes, Fabio said, "It may have been a little bit of everything. You try to keep tires, but it is complicated. Although the fall was my mistake, these things can happen, but we have to change a little bit for Malaysia." After taking a P3 finish at Australia, while his title rival ended up in the gravel, Pecco Bagnaia is now 14 points clear with just 2 more races to go. Pecco admitted that Fabio's crash did change the course of his race and that was the reason why he settled for P3. Pecco said, "My race changed when I heard on the lap board that Fabio had fallen. From that moment on, I also started to accept a podium as a result. Before, I just wanted to win. I thought I already had made too many mistakes this season and it was not the time to make more." But despite turning the championship on his head, Pecco wasn't entirely happy after the race because he knew he left some precious points on the table. Pecco said, "I am happy with the championship, but winning the race, I could have had a 23-point lead over Quartararo instead of 14, and winning always adds an extra flavor, especially with so many people." The third title contender has fallen 27 points behind the leader after a P9 finish at the Australian GP. Seeing his title hopes diminish, Aleix said that he feels like the World Championship is slipping away. Aleix said, "I did everything. I had the speed and I was going fast. But on the bike, the traction control more and more failed. The bike did not accelerate at all. I changed the maps and the bike was still not moving forward. Both Maverick and I had the same problem and it gives me the feeling that we are letting this World Cup escape." Despite missing out on the win for his 100th visit to the podium, Marquez seemed to be satisfied with the way he was able to fight at the front all race long. Marc said, "We have been able to overtake as before. We were able to play like before and the show has been there. From the bike, the race went by quickly. I don't know if I will be like the one before, but here I was able to fight for victory and this is the most important thing." Jorge Lorenzo seems to have become a fan of Marquez ever since he retired, and after the Australian GP, we heard more praises for Marquez from him. Lorenzo said, "Honda stopped having the best bike a long time ago. Since 2016 or 2017, it has not been very up to the mark. Only a phenomenon like Marquez has been able to do his part to win the World Championships, especially in 2019 when the Honda was a hyper-complicated bike, but he achieved more victories than ever." And despite many suggesting that while in P2 behind Pecco Bagnaia, Marco Bezzecchi did not make a move because of Ducati's team orders, Bezzecchi claims he could not pass Pecco because he simply didn't have the pace. Bezzecchi said, "I would have liked to pass him in turn 1, but he made that corner very hard while the front closed for me. I always took a few meters, but with the wake, I could never get under him. I didn't hold back at all. I tried like a madman. I didn't overtake Pecco because he was going faster than me, and I didn't want to finish on the dirt or crash into him." Is Pecco Bagnaia going to end Ducati's 15-year drought or will he buckle under the pressure which he has never experienced in his life? Let's chat in the comments below.
Hi guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up.